So I just picked up this, actually it was shipped to me. It's a Crosman Optimus break barrel air rifle. Comes with a scope, .177 caliber. It says here it's 495 feet per second. We shall see. It's pretty heavy. It's certainly not lightweight. It's a nice looking gun. Simple, plain. Comes with a scope and some rings. Take a look at the scope. Scope feels pretty lightweight, so I'm not really expecting too much from this optic, but hey, it's just for plinking at steel targets, so it'll probably be fine. Yeah, there's no weight to that. Guess it's metal too, but I think, is it metal? Is it plastic? I'm not even sure. Actually might be plastic. But again, it's just for plinking. So I ordered a package of 500 pellets with it, and I think the total came to about $260 with the tax and everything. So that's not too much of an investment. Boy, it really is heavy, which doesn't, that's okay. It doesn't bother me. If something weighs a lot, you feel like you're getting your money's worth, but it is heavy. I don't know how heavy it is exactly. It probably says somewhere. Stock's a bit smooth, might benefit from a little bit of carbon on there, but it's okay. This rear sight looks like it came from the dollar store. It is like just the absolute cheapest, flimsiest plastic thing you've ever seen in your life. One good whack against a tree or something going through the bush and that's going to be gone. I think that's almost more of an afterthought. Like I said, it comes with a scope, so I'll be using that because, just touch it with your finger and it really couldn't be any cheaper. Moves all over the place. So yeah, that rear sight's pretty cheesy. Front sight feels better. It's harder plastic. But yeah, this rear sight, don't hold out too much hope for that. So it comes with a set of scope rings. They feel reasonably solid. I think they're aluminum. They should do the trick. Okay, so I mounted the scope. That took about 5 minutes. In full disclosure though, I did not follow proper scope mounting procedures. I basically just put it on. When you're mounting a scope on a firearm, you're supposed to, there's a certain way to do it. Tools you need to use, and a procedure to make sure it's perfectly lined up, and that you're not putting undue uneven pressure on the scope tube, because that can distort your optics. But I just plunked it on there. I'll worry about that later. Now, it's not the same scope that's on the box. Not that that's necessarily a problem. But I just will make note of it, that it's definitely not the same scope. It's got different style of rings, and it's totally different scope. But hey, as long as it works, that's what matters. The other thing I'll note is that I'm going to see about taking this rear sight right off, because as you can see, it's actually in front of the scope, and it's blurring the image. When you look through, you can see the rear sight. You can't really see it, but it causes a blurry distortion in the optic. So I'm going to see if this thing will pop right off. So the scope owner's manual, I'm not quite sure what they're getting at here. They show you a Picatinny rail and a dovetail rail, and they state that they're not included, but you don't really need them because this has a dovetail rail. Well, it's not even a rail, it's just dovetailed right into the receiver. So I don't know, I guess maybe you could put rails on it to raise the scope up a little bit. Yeah, not really sure why they have that. So yeah, I popped this front or rear sight off. You just unscrew the elevation adjustment. There's a spring underneath there, and then you just pop it off at the front. You can see the little pins there, and it goes through these holes. This is like I said earlier, this is just totally cheap junk of a rear sight. Probably the worst sight I've ever seen. And there is another piece, another base plate there. Probably if you take these two screws out, that'll come off. But I'm going to leave it for now because this little bit I've left won't interfere with the optic too much. And you never know, I might want to take the scope off and put that sight back on and give it a try. Who knows? So I'll just leave it for now. But overall, so far, other than that totally cheesy rear sight, pleased with it. Tomorrow I'll take it out and see if I can sight it in and hit anything with it.